going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Pallet House. This time without 700 crawlers in front of us.
Lord.
Sounds boring.
It probably will be a little more boring, but I won't feel it as much as that last episode the next day. My God,
I was
man.
dying.
I was not feeling well the next day.
What a generous host. Yeah, you were.
Well, you're a strong man, Ely. You're a strong man. I've been getting a lot of good feedback about that episode, man. People were pretty jazzed about that episode where we were up at the Answer with On.
Yeah,
Dude,
he's awesome.
Brendan and I were driving over there. We're like, yeah, we'll run a tab, da-da-da. We go upstairs. We'll start setting up. We're like, we need to talk to him about, getting us a tab going. Not 5 seconds later, we look over. He's walking upstairs with 3 glasses of beer. Then he immediately goes back and comes back with 2 more pitchers of beer. We're like, oh, no. What have we gotten ourselves into?
Yeah.
And then
He wasn't playing, man.
and that was only the beginning.
Yeah, that was a good time, though, for sure. And I've been getting a lot
Great
of people reaching out saying that they really think that was one of the better episodes we've done in a long while.
New listeners?
No.
We're bringing the funny from day one.
I agree. Especially when Pat was on. Pat was he's a linchpin for the funny.
Yeah, he was.
We've been ooh, that doesn't look good up there.
Still watching birds.
So, but
Soccer.
yeah, a lot of people though have been reaching out. Like On really fit in with you guys. We really like his vibe. So, another shout out to On over at the Answer Brew Pub. I think
For sure.
he definitely
Thank you.
has some damn good beer too, say the least. And it's funny. I was actually talking to a client last week who's not a listener. Thank goodness. And he was like, "Yeah, last week I was in Richmond. I went to the Answer. It's one of the best places I'd been." I was like, "Well, I'll be dang. Look at that."
And you say you should listen.
I didn't have the heart to do it. I was like, funny. I sat down with that guy for a little over an hour the other day, and just kind of left it at that.
Yeah.
I was waiting for him to be like, how'd you get him like a captive audience? Be like, little podcast, little something we do on the side there. So, but yeah, man, that was definitely a good time. But that was a lot of beer, and I don't think I realized how much beer we were drinking until like we had left. Or I guess when you and I were downstairs, Ely, you took off, and then he and I went downstairs and grabbed one more beer.
TKML?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We had that one more beer, and it
pushed us over.
It really did. I was
Yeah.
like, oh God, we got to eject.
Then we lifted, not Ubered, right on out of there.
You're gonna hold that grudge forever, aren't you?
Dude, I'm loving Lyft, man. I've lifted a couple times this weekend, and we were talking to the drivers like something's going on there. I got a Lyft the other day, Friday night. The wife and I went out to downtown Richmond to the Siegel Center, and we caught a Lyft back. It was $16. Like,
damn.
Basically, that's the same as riding from here to Hardywood, where I got the $46 Uber.
Yeah, but that was for the Stash Bash. That was certainly worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like when Uber first came out, one of the biggest selling points was how much cheaper it was than cabs, and I feel like that's gone now.
Yes, I agree.
It's because the drivers kept complaining that they weren't making enough money, and there's only one way to get more money out of it, and they're not going to take the money out of their pockets. So,
right.
But we
Took it
talked
out of
about
our
this.
pocket.
Uber's still losing money, right? Of course, I don't understand the way those businesses work, but
it is crazy that they're losing money hand over fist, but when you listen to the story of that CEO, you got to understand that dude has money he needs to spend.
sounds like it.
Yeah, it's an interesting cat, to say the least, man. Dude, I'm up here, I'm looking, and it's still more figure skating, huh? This has been nonstop.
I can't take this.
It never ends.
Every fucking night I turn this Olympics on, and there's figure skating. Like, how come I can't get primetime something else? It's always figure skating. It seems like it's the longest damn event in the Olympics. Is it almost over?
Gotta be. There seems to be no end in sight.
It's like I can watch one or two, and then the announcer lady's hitting you with the, that knee twist was crazy. You're like, what?
And
I don't give a fuck. Put on something cool.
Anything else? Yeah,
Anything.
I'm with you.
Like,
I've been seeing a lot, and I wonder if this will ride all the way towards the end. Because they've got, you got the ice dancing, and then when you have the couples, then you have the male and then the female, and then they have the long
There's
routines
a
where they have
team
like
one.
Yeah, it does seem to.
I can't wait for that one.
I think you missed that one. I think they started.
Yeah, you
with that
somehow
one.
missed it.
What?
It's like the NBA playoffs.
Yeah.
It's like it just drags on for months and months.
Ugh.
I do find it interesting watching these like Olympic athletes from Russia. What a kick in the ass that they all got. They have to go under a neutral flag and can't wear their colors.
I think it works out okay for them.
Yeah.
It sucks for the country. Like,
Yeah, they don't get credit for all the wins.
yeah,
But
who gives
the-
a fuck
yeah.
if the country gets credit, as
Yeah.
long as the people do.
But as long as you get your Olympic medal, right,
Yeah.
and you're under that OAR flag, you're always going to kind of have like that black mark Olympic medal.
Not me. I'd be like, yeah, the cocksuckers at fucking Moscow fucked this all up. I got a
Yeah.
dope-ass medal, though. Shit's right there.
Yeah, I wouldn't care.
I guess
wouldn't
that's
either.
true because on
Yeah.
a personal level,
What,
Yeah.
it's not like
what
they
gets
were-
me is like you watch the opening ceremonies. They're like, oh, this person's mom was born in Ireland, so they're competing under the Irish flag, and it's like
Yeah.
this seems shady.
It
like,
does.
We're really kind of like. There's like hockey player sisters that are playing. One's playing U.S. and one's playing like Thailand or wherever the
Right.
hell they're from. And like none of it. It's all little. There's a lot of gray area, and it just kind of.
I think I saw one. It was one of these, of course, because that's all I watch. Figure skating chicks, and she was like from somewhere in Africa, and she had a host family in America, and she's on the American team. I'm like,
Yeah, see,
that
that's weird.
doesn't seem. That seems weird to me.
We had a kid yesterday who was figure skating, and he had done like the Worlds once as the Netherlands. He'd represented Korea at one time, and then he was representing us. Now, that's just tough, man. I mean, what's that? You got a father from the Netherlands, a mom from Korea, but you were born in America, and you can claim all three.
I'm starting to think it doesn't matter at all. It's just
Yeah.
whoever claims your ass and pushes the paperwork through before
Exactly.
the
That's
Olympics.
got to be what it is. Like, because it's all about W's.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, you're dope. Come be on our team.
Right.
Free agency.
Exactly.
So it's basically free agency. It's
Yeah, it's
professional
like
sports.
college recruiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no, you're from Alabama now.
I like how we kick the crap out of ourselves for being the most racist country ever, except all of our athletes are every different ethnicity
that's
ever.
right,
Like you can't
exactly.
tell. Like if you just put our guys up, you'd be like, I don't know where that guy's from. Somewhere in Eastern Asia? No, he's U.S.
Right.
Oh, that guy's from Africa, right? No,
Right.
he's U.S.
Yeah.
Like, oh, but we're the worst.
Exactly.
You get these other countries together, they all look exactly alike,
Yeah.
especially in the Winter Olympics.
It's funny, you can like certain sports, you'll see like the same ethnicity like through the whole gamut of like every country.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, there you go.
The wife and I were talking the other night about how the Winter Olympics have all the just insanely fast, probably going to die sports. Like everything is 70 miles an hour. Just
And I think skeleton is the perfect example of that. It's like they had the luge and they were like,
It's not scary enough.
yeah, this shit's weak. We need
Yeah.
to go face first. Make it really challenging.
yeah.
That skeleton one is crazy because they're like bobbling off the sled and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
I'm like, you need a bigger sled, dude.
That I swear that started on a dare. The luge guys were just hanging out after practice. Like I bet you won't go down face first.
Just like Don Karate. Same way it started.
yeah, I bet you won't name it that.
That's right. The fuck I won't.
We drove by Dong's Karate today, and I giggled.
Yeah, you
the wife
did.
said Dong's Karate, and I started laughing.
Yeah.
Listeners have been sending in pictures of Donk's Karate bumper,
Bumper
stickers.
stickers,
And I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, I guess they're
Guys
everywhere.
everywhere.
Now, when you had said pictures of Dong, I was like, where are we taking this?
The listeners have been sending in a ton of pictures of Dongs. Karate.
Yeah.
But like the Summer Olympics, like you're running under your own power, so you might trip and fall.
yeah.
But like, I mean, you see these wrecks, man. It's just crazy.
Are you watching a ton of Olympics? Like, are you
Yeah,
cracked
we
out?
pretty much turn it
I
on
do,
all
yeah.
the time.
I have been coming out here like at night because there's so many TVs that I can watch like all the events.
Yeah,
Right.
But my wife's just not into it. Like every night, like I'll be watching the Olympics and she's like, "Can we watch a movie?"
she hates the
I'll
U.S.
be like, "No, she likes it. She just doesn't like all the figure
Figure
skating
skating.
and all that." Yeah, it's like it has to be something. And I'm such a curling junkie, and she cannot wrap her head around
Ice
curling.
shuffleboard.
Yeah, that's basically all it is.
Yeah.
And I love it. I got called out for having my crush on Caitlin Laws over in Canada, and people have been sending me quite a few pictures of better looking
Oh, yeah.
women than Caitlin Laws.
I
who-
feel like Michaela's hotter than her.
Oh, by far.
Yeah.
there's tons of them. It's just not.
Well, she's not a curler.
Yeah.
You can't decide who you fall in love with.
The heart wants what the heart
The heart
wants.
wants what the heart
it,
wants.
yeah.
And I saw my girl got a gold, so I was pretty happy.
That's
for
why
her.
you love her. You like winners.
I didn't even know she was a winner.
Did you see the I think we talked about this, but we haven't talked about it on the show, but the guy in like the cross country skiing that got run over,
dude,
and
that
lost
was
his pole. His pole broke. He got hit in
15
the head.
seconds
What?
into the start.
Yeah.
He gets trucked from behind.
Everyone.
Yeah, and they just trample him.
Run
Did
him
they
over.
give him a new pole? I mean, how does
like
that
his
work?
coach ran out from the side.
Oh, thank God.
Handed him a man a
Okay.
new pole.
Dead last.
He's in dead last. And
That
as they're
sucks.
going, and then I was watching the recap, and they're like, mile 2, he's in 25th or
yeah.
whatever, and it's like mile 8, he's in 15th. Mile 12,
my man did not.
he's in 10th. Mile 17th, he's in 3rd. He ends up crushing everyone.
No way.
And I don't mean crushing. I mean like they were football fields behind him.
Yeah.
No
Like
way.
my man's a straight beast.
They called it the miracle on snow.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
man.
It was
That's
impressive.
badass.
Yeah,
Good
my
for
man's
him.
cheering, going through the finish line with snot boogers running down his face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Took
and I was
his
like,
whooping.
fucking right you did.
And
Clobber me in the head. I'll show all you bitches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how some of these sports, like cross country skiing, they're like harken back to like what the Olympics were about. Like there was a time where it's like need to get from point A to point B. My guy from my country, we can do that quicker than your guy.
Yeah,
like
right.
and we're doing that for survival.
Your
for
boy
food
looks a
or
little
something.
sharp and
Yeah.
soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seal clubbing. That was
I do
big
wish, though,
back in
that...
the day.
exactly. When did they take that out?
Just recently,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
in
It's like the
80s.
biathlon, like the cross country skiing and then shooting. Your
Right.
heart rate's going 190, and you
Yeah.
got to fire a little 22 downrange. Like
Exactly.
But that's
That's
a real
awesome.
sport,
Yeah,
right?
like-
Like you had to go chase down the caribou, then you had to stop. You had to get your shot off.
Yeah.
Like, I get
don't-
that.
I'm not a big fan, though, of how it's like they just use bulldozers to make the track in an arena. Like,
Yeah.
I like when it was through the woods and shit. You know what I mean? That was awesome.
yeah, and
Is that not what those biathletes are on? They're not outside. It's
The
like-
one I see, everything I see is like in a stadium, and they're just going up and down the hills and around circles.
I don't
You're
know.
watching a lot of ice skating, man.
No. Like the snow, and they're doing whether it's cross country or whatever. It's not in like a.
I didn't realize that
Giant-
wasn't
No,
just outdoors.
no, what it is, it's outdoors, but what it is.
Yeah, I know it's outdoors. I know it's not a literal stadium, but what I'm saying is it looks like it was just made with
No,
bulldozers.
they did. They like
Yeah.
they call it like the cross country arena or whatever.
okay.
Like, but and it makes sense. Like, I don't know if it's temporary or not because that seems like a waste. But you got to train. Like, where are you going to train? Like,
That's a good point.
makes sense. But
Well, all the Olympics is a waste.
true.
Hosting the
yeah.
Olympics
It's
is a
the
bad
worst.
idea.
Yeah.
Very bad
Like,
idea.
I remember a couple years ago, Chicago was like pushing real hard, and they lost. And I was like, oh, thank God for America. Like,
Yeah.
that's so good.
But we love wasting money. We're good at that shit.
Oh yeah, we got it.
Everybody is. People clamor to get the Olympics. Then it
Same
comes
thing
in
happens at
and-
the World Cup. They like build stadiums
Yeah.
and shit, and they end up being deserted.
It's so sad when you see it, like, and it's not even like 50 years later. It's like 8 years after the Olympics, and it looks like
the Coliseum.
Quite literally, yeah.
I was gonna say it looks like something out of
A
one
remnant
of those
of a
zombie
time.
shows. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you spent billions doing this,
Yeah.
and now like you can't even let like a youth league play in this thing. Like literally, there's trees growing in the middle of your soccer stadium.
Right.
You're telling me it's not worth your time and effort and money to make this thing last?
Yeah.
Nah, let it go.
Exactly.
Like, come on.
Yeah, it's not a good deal to win that stuff. 'Cause
Hey, but it is awesome though. Like the Koreas. Did you see the opening ceremony with the Koreas? That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I have a theory about that. You saw I put it on your
Think
Facebook
Kim
page.
Jong Un's sister had a fucking shank in her hand.
I don't think those drones are real.
yeah, they were real.
Come on, of course
I
they're
don't
real.
think they're real.
I was laughing at that comment internally. We didn't
Yeah,
talk about it
that
on
was-
Facebook.
that
Of
was
course they're
definitely
real.
real.
It's so much easier to CG it. Why wouldn't you?
But they're
Because that's the
advertising the
challenge.
drones at the same time.
Yeah, it's Intel. Intel's
It
making
wasn't
all
it
that money.
before.
It wasn't a few years ago that they CG'd fireworks in the opening ceremony.
But
Yeah,
that
I'm
was
just
Russia.
not ready to take that leap.
Russia's full of shit. This is Korea, man. There's no one more technological.
But okay, so you know drones.
yes,
Okay. How hard is it to fly a drone?
super easy unless you're over the ocean.
How many did they say they had? 2,000?
Something like that.
How hard is it, even with the formulas and all the computers, how hard do you think it would be to do that?
It's
And
hard,
look,
but
there's wind. Have you seen how windy it was there? Like, there's a lot of. It's not inside a stadium. There's
drone technology has grown leaps and bounds. And 4 years ago, Intel, for the first
Look.
time, was able to program and have like 500 drones go up, fly in formation, do all that, and then make the Intel sign, like symbol in the sky, and then just turn. And like they were able to do that. That was like 4 years ago. now, I mean, it does not surprise me that they can get up there and they can do this. The military has drones that fly in formation like
bomb you.
swarms. No, like little ones.
Exactly, yeah.
Sorry.
Killing
little
mad
drones.
motherfuckers.
Little drones, little like surveillance ones. And
Yeah.
they fly in swarms to cover like mass
I'm not
areas.
saying it can't be done. I'm just saying it seems a lot easier to CG it and say it was real than actually do it.
Certainly.
Seems more of a risk, though.
Yeah, they did it. Intel wanted that.
I mean, that's
that
where Samsung
publicity.
is. That's where, I mean, Koreas don't fuck around with that shit.
I've seen there's a
One swift wind would knock all that shit right out of the sky. That's all I'm saying. Or one malfunction takes them all out. Like,
Yeah.
and that's very true. You know, but drones are getting to the point now. They have the first in China right now. They actually have the first drone that's been cleared for human transport, and it is just a big ass drone like you typically would see. Four arms, four propellers, and then a pod that you just sit in. You tell it where you want to go. That bad boy goes up, flies you there, puts you down, and they've now started using it. It's like it's past the point of testing. It's now in use, but not a lot of people are obviously embracing it because it's kind of sketch. But they haven't had any
sounds
issues.
sketch as hell.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Lord.
Yeah, it's sketchy. I mean, look, I've seen drones fall flat out of the sky on me before. I mean, I know it happens.
Yeah, and when they go south, it's not like they auto-rotate like a helicopter
Right,
and
exactly.
land gently. It's like ass over tea kettle, crash, burn, catch on fire, probably take out something on the way.
But every year now, these drones, like get me down a rabbit hole here, but like DJI just released a drone a couple months ago. It's $800 for people, you know, for like you and me, and it's got 7 cameras on it. It can be flying flat out 47 miles an hour is its top speed. It's going flat out, and there's a pole there. It'll sense it, go around it or over it. It'll make all those calculations without you having to know anything about it. And you can even sit there and just like hand gesture, like where you want it to go, like crazy stuff. And that's a consumer drone. That's a toy.
I feel like 18 months ago, like you were really heavy into drones, and everybody was. I feel like it's kind of dipped off some.
Not in government funding.
Yeah, I feel like, though, in the consumer segment, like the last 2 Christmases, not this past one, but the 2 prior to that, it was like the hot thing. And now you don't hear people talking about it.
Of course, the government wants it. I mean, there's a million sketchy things you can do with them.
The main reason is because there's been no giant leaps in technology. Like the drone that you can get for $30 can do what most shit.
Yeah.
Well, and that's it. Unless you want a drone that you don't really do anything with, then yeah, it hasn't. Because it's more
like
fun to fly a $50 drone than it is to fly one of those ones with the cameras everywhere. Because the $50 one, you can fuck up and slam it into a tree. There's joy in that, in mastering it.
Yeah.
When it's got cameras and you just go forward and it goes through a forest on its own, you're like, cool, no skill.
Yeah.
You know?
No, but also when you total that $1,000 drone, that's not fun.
No, and I know the pain of that.
Yeah.
Firsthand. It's pretty bad. But when you've got a $50 drone and you're tearing around and you slam it into something and it breaks,
You just laugh.
yeah, I mean, you're a little upset, but you get over it very quickly. I still wake up in a cold sweat over my drone. Like
I don't blame you.
That was heartbreaking, man.
Right in the water, just a slight gust of wind.
And that's why I do have to, concur with you that wind can mess it up, to say the least. But Intel wasn't taking any chances. Those drones are so dialed in with GPS, they hold their position exceptionally well.
So what's the craziest winter sport? What do you think is like if you had to do one, which one would you be like, nah, I'm definitely not doing that?
Ooh, I mean, honestly, that they do those big air jumps.
That's
Yeah.
where I
You know
was
what I
going.
mean?
That's where I was
That's
going.
like-
I was like, these dummies are going to say skeleton or something like that, but it popped up yesterday, that aerial thing where they just go halfway up the hill, go straight down it, put their arms up, and do some weird magical arm motion like they're signaling a plane to land on a flight deck. And when they miss, and they almost always miss, like they don't land those very smoothly.
Yeah.
Even when they land right, it looks violent.
And that one you have no choice. Like you could put me on a Super G, like downhill skiing.
Yeah, you could just
I can take my time. I
Yeah.
can get down that hill. There's no choice. You go off something higher than the Statue of Liberty. You're in the air higher than the Statue of Liberty. That's just how that starts.
Oh, you're talking about ski jumping, like where you jump an entire football field.
No, the But the big air ones, that's the one that freaks me out.
I'm talking about the ones where you go down and you hit the quarter pipe and it shoots you straight up and you do 3 back flips with 4 twists.
No, I am talking about the other one. But, yeah, that one is crazy, too. And I just figured out why they always look like the ground is dirty. And there's always, like, shit in the ground on those.
Don't they put stuff in the ground to help them see?
Yeah, I was pissing and moaning to my wife. You
clean that shit up.
They would clean this up. And she's like, then they can't judge where the ground is because it's just a white. And I was like, oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
That's a weird place to plant all those little pine trees.
Yeah.
That's what I didn't pick up on it at all. But,
dude, speaking of not seeing, we teased this like a month and a half ago. Did you not mention that you got a pair of the, I don't know if they're in chromas, but the color seeing glasses for the colorblind?
I got my
Have you seen the light?
I got my hands on a pair of colorblind glasses. I did.
What's
Yeah?
the backstory to that?
Is that what you're wearing right now?
These are not. No.
Okay.
These are colorblind eyes.
Yeah.
And it's a little awkward.
What do you mean you got your hand? First off, you can buy them anywhere off the internet, so...
Yeah, but
You
there's
didn't find some sketchy drug lord and
apparently
Did it
there-
fall off
Motel.
the back of a truck like a hairdryer?
yeah.
Yeah, take this pill. I do see colors. It worked for 30 minutes. No, my mom and dad scooped me up a pair for Christmas.
And then
which
you
was-
just...
honestly, man.
Let me guess. You took them out of the box, broke them in half, said, "You did this to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to change.
You can't fix it now."
You made it. You live with it.
That's right.
This is me. You can't
Oh,
change
you're
me.
not proud of me? Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Yeah. You know what you should do? You should just wear them every time you see them. Like, always leave them on your head. Like, all the time. At dinner. Like
they
Stevie
ruined
Wonder
it?
or something. Like, always wear them. Like, I need these to survive now.
I broke one of the lenses. Only one eye sees color.
And then, like,
Yeah.
take them off to, like, rub your face or wash your hands or something, and then just walk into a wall.
Yeah.
My mom picked me up some. They were not the Enchromas. They were a
They
different,
really don't love you. They half-assed
a
it.
different brand that I had never heard of. And
They're like
I got to be honest, man.
gin chromas.
Yeah.
When I was holding them, like I was nervous. Like,
Really?
that was a weird.
I'm sure.
That's a weird feeling. Like, okay, it's like you're on the precipice of something.
That is the
big
red pill,
and-
blue
and-
pill, right?
Yeah, like, do you really want to know? Do you want to see what the world sees?
Yeah, I can't unsee this once I...
That's part of the thought, right? So I was shocked at how much anticipation and how nervous I was getting as I held the glasses, just holding them.
But, so this was at Christmas time, so, like, the whole family was there.
Yeah, and we did it. This was a couple weeks after Christmas when we all finally got together and
So was it like-
celebrated.
Put them on. Let's go outside. Let's go look at stuff.
Yeah, well, it was also, the kids are doing their thing, so I'm just kind of there in the corner like, oh, God, all right, here we go. And
You're like, part of you like, I don't want these?
it's just a weird feeling. I
Because
don't
we'd
know.
mentioned it a year ago, and you seemed like you weren't that interested in it.
Oh, I'm very interested. Like, I
Oh, okay. I
definitely
took it
want
like you weren't.
No, I'm just nervous. It's like just made me nervous for some reason.
I'd like to have the power to put on glasses and see what Ely sees like colors, because colors are subjective. So, like,
I agree.
I would like to be able to see what other people see when they look at things.
Yeah, and I don't see that, and that was part of the other side of it. Is how do I know this is really fixing it?
What is
Or just-
what is true?
Like
exactly.
when you see red with those, will it really be the red that I see, Ely sees, everyone else
Yeah.
sees,
So-
or a variation of it?
So I did try them on finally. Like I put them on, and immediately the first thing that jumped out at me was everything's a lot more red. Like everything was more red,
Really?
and that was really weird to me seeing that
You've
much.
never seen red.
I mean, I see it, but I don't know that I see it like you guys. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, everything was like a tint of red or had red in it, and there was red everywhere.
Well, red allegedly brings out like aggression, like it's a.
Well, and that's what. So then I punched
for
the
the
dog.
bulls.
Yeah, I started kicking the dog.
Yeah.
I'm freaking out.
Get these glasses off of me.
No, so yeah, I put them on.
I hate you, Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
I put
Learn
them
it
on,
from
and
you, Mom.
Everything definitely looked really red, and I was like, I can't tell if this is if this is real or if this isn't real.
Meanwhile, they just gave him red tinted glasses.
Yeah.
Well, and I I feel like that's essentially what this was. Because
I want to put them on, see what they look like.
Colorblind glasses, they just try to really saturate the colors you don't see so you can bring out enough
Yeah.
that everything kind of evens out. And I went outside and like I'm looking around and certain things were like definitely different, like more beautiful in some respects, but everything was red. So I was questioning if these were working. I was like,
What do you mean everything was red?
like everything was red.
Like
And I
what?
Was, like everything had a tint of red. Like even white shit was pink.
And them glasses were fucked.
You know what I mean?
Then that shouldn't be.
Like so I'm
Or
like,
maybe they work, but maybe not for you. I don't want to disparage the glasses.
so
but
then I felt like such
that
a
shouldn't be the way it
I
works.
felt like such a dick because I'm sitting there, right? And like I've got these colorblind glasses. that
Worked
I'm
out
like,
some fake tears.
I was gonna say,
didn't
I've
you?
seen the videos. You're supposed to fucking drop to your knees and bawl your eyes out.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm supposed to like be a changed man,
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, y'all live in a fucking pink world. This is lame. Like I am not interested in this world.
Right. Keep it.
And then so I was like, maybe these aren't working. And I felt bad because I like pulled out a colorblind test and started taking it, wearing them.
Like on your phone or something.
Yeah. And I failed miserably.
Really?
Oh wow.
And so I was like, okay, these aren't right.
Right.
Like everything is just red. All these glasses have done is turned everything red. And that can't be right. So then I felt bad because I had to admit, look, it didn't work. And like everyone was all built up and excited. And
Your dad's like $49.99 down the drain.
Yeah. I mortgaged the house on this
Dad,
one.
these are 500. They're supposed to be 500. Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I meant.
That's what I said.
Move that decimal.
$4.99.99. That's what I said.
Well, so then my mom was like, do you want me to retry? And I was like, I felt so bad because you don't want to ask for something.
No.
But I was like, I mean, I kind of want to try again. So,
Or at least get your money back.
well, yeah,
Like-
they're definitely getting the money back. I mean, they all have money back guarantees.
Oh, so you did send them back.
I did. I sent them back. I was like, I don't think these work. I think they're just red goggles.
Did you tell her to get the Enchromas?
Yeah, so she ended up talking to someone, and they're like, yeah, the Enchromas have the best track record. So the Enchromas are coming. And
So-
Oh, really?
yeah, I just don't know when they'll be getting here.
Live on the air.
Are they all the same? Like, is one.
Nah, because this guy, like when my mom returned them, he was like, will you do me a favor and will you report back how the Enchromas work for him and like what the
Oh, damn.
like how he would say it's different? Because he's just trying to dial it in. What I think this
He's
guy
doing
is,
knockoff Enchromas.
I think this guy's doing knockoffs. I think he's like, I'm going to put a shit ton of red in this lens, and it might
Most
work for
people
some
probably won't send them back.
But I think a lot of people probably just take it and go,
Yeah.
oh shit, there's so much more red. That's what I was missing. And I was like, you guys can't live like this. This can't be real. So I took the colorblind test and I was worse.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah,
I wanted to hear cool things like
you and me both, man.
Because all the green should have been cool, like greener, right? For red green colorblind, like
I got it. That was the one thing that did look different was I was kind of able to see greens and browns. I was like, oh shit, those are different. So red plays into that somehow, but not at that level. It was insane. It
green
wasn't-
and brown make red. Everybody knows that.
That
Yeah.
is not accurate. That can't be accurate.
You
But-
wouldn't know, dude.
But does like a little bit of red change green to brown?
It might.
I don't know.
Yes.
It does?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so then there was that difference where I could see something was different.
Yeah.
No, it was disappointing, unfortunately. So I will have to report back at another time. So that's why I haven't been like every week you're like teasing. I'm like, I'm good. I'm not going to talk about it because I know my mom feels bad. I feel bad that it didn't work. You know? I like felt like it was my fault. You know, I was like, oh, I blew it.
Isn't that bad when you get a bad gift?
It just sucks. You don't want to be like, well, thanks for nothing. You
Well, it's
know?
like you're supposed to act like you're thankful, and you are, but it's like
I was very grateful.
you can't hide that your body language and the way you. It's like,
And
oh,
I didn't want to
thanks.
lie. I didn't want to
Yeah.
be like, oh my God, there it is. The
Yeah.
universe. The world is here.
Yeah. Like Angela's uncle, he's, best heart on earth, but he's known for some
Bad
gifts.
gifts?
Not bad, but like, Bryce played baseball one time, so now he thinks every gift.
Oh,
or
okay,
like,
yeah.
the kid was 5 and said he likes a football team, and now every
Yeah.
gift is this football team. But last year for Christmas, he got him so he's giving him this gift, and I'm like across the room, so I can't see it. I'm just listening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's in a picture frame, and he's like, "Yeah." So I met this guy in a bar, and he played for the Yankees. His name was Mack. I don't remember what his last name is. He signed this napkin. The napkin's framed. He signed this napkin. His name's Mack. And I'm like, oh, my God. And I look at it. So it's at the house. I'll take a picture and send it to you. It says Mack, Yankees, AA in parentheses underneath of it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I'm like,
he's a no-name
it's
scrub.
a framed brown, like, Chipotle napkin, like a regular-ass napkin that my man met at a bar, and this dude just scribbled on this shit.
And by the way, that guy might not play for the AA Yankees.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That was the first thing I thought is this dude's full of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Mac McMackerson, you don't know him?
Yeah.
Man, he's the best.
Yeah, but I mean,
Blew out
biggest heart, but you're like,
Oh, man.
God bless
You
you.
literally got a framed napkin with some
That's
no-name
it.
signature on it.
Exactly.
That might be the worst gift I've ever
some
heard.
drunk-ass dude at the bar. Yeah.
Dude, like, giving...
Is that Jaeger on that? It's
Yeah.
gross.
He went home and was like, I gave a dude a napkin, y'all.
You should have seen this guy's eyes light up when I told him I was Mac.
Yeah.
That's like... I mean, that's worse than giving somebody no legs like a pair of shoes, dude. Like, what do you do with that?
Like, and Bryce was trying to Google the guy's name. He's like, I don't know.
You start at the top, right? Hall of Fame name
That's
Mac.
it. That's him.
Okay, none there. Okay,
Yeah.
Yankees. Okay,
That
double
story
A.
sounds so fake because, like, I'm trying to picture. All right, the uncle's not going to know. Obviously, he doesn't know who this guy is.
Right.
So it's not like they're at the bar sitting next to each other and he looks over and is like, oh, damn, you're Derek Jeter. And he's like, probably just sitting at the bar and some dude's there and they probably start small talking.
Right.
What do you do? I'm in sales. What do you do? I play for the Yankees. He's like, oh, shit.
What?
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
So was he backtracking or like, because
I got a nephew that loves baseball.
I've told some stories to randos in bars.
yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm
But
I'm
not dudes. You're not like, hey, guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you're going to lie, you're going to stick, like, you're not double A-ing it, right?
Right. No.
I'm triple A if nothing else.
Yeah. It may have been AAA. I got to look at it, but it was either way. It was
well, then hold on to that napkin. That could
Yeah.
be worth something
Yeah.
one day.
just got to figure out who it was.
Dude,
Mac.
that is glorious.
Yeah.
Dude, that's heartbreaking. He's got a framed napkin from a no-name AA player named Mac.
And Bryce, roll with it.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about Bryce is he's just like,
that's
this
a
is
solid
amazing.
kid.
He's like, thank you so much. That's an amazing gift.
And he's in
And
college.
he's like intrigued about it, and he's like, talking
Trying
to
to
him about
figure
it.
it out.
Like
Yeah.
he's really loving the
Dude,
gift.
I've been following this guy on the farm system.
That's right.
This is awesome.
Exactly.
Here's
I
what I
remember
know.
him.
Yes.
Brown glove.
Yeah.
Yeah. He drinks hams, right?
He throws the ball and hits it. Yeah, I remember him. He's pretty
Yeah.
good.
That
He's pretty
dude is
good.
fantastic.
Exactly. Killer arm. Yeah.
Where's the pinstripes? God, he's my favorite.
Right.
That dude is pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome.
At least he tried.
Yeah.
At least
he
he
does
tried.
every year.
But he's just off.
You
Yes.
could literally just go on eBay and buy for like $10.99 some retired Yankees baseball card with his autograph on it and have a better gift.
You know how those older cats are, man. They're not too savvy.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Technology, dude. That's
Like
a whole...
he makes us a lot of the gifts that we get. They're awesome.
He's like a 5-year-old. Like, you get a napkin with something written on it, or he made you a pinch pot. It's like,
Dude, that changes the story. Your uncle... The
Signed
uncle signed it. He's eating at Chipotle on the way to your house.
It was Christmas Eve.
I didn't
He's
get
like,
it, shit.
what was that guy's name? Mac something.
I got this
Yeah.
picture frame over here.
What's a good baseball player name? Matt?
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Just looking at the guy making his burritos name tag.
No, he just
Mac.
he just goes to Chipotle. They probably got like a bunch of framed burrito pictures like as decoration. He just smashes the frame up.
That kills me.
Oh,
Too bad. Handmade gifts.
Yeah.
they're the best.
They are.
They are the best thing. From the heart. From the heart. Troy, speaking of gifts, man, did you bring a deli? Because I'm thirsty over here. I would love to tap into one. What do you got over there for us?
Got a local here, Hardywood.
Ooh.
Now, I've had this.
I have not.
It's called Baltic Sunrise, Baltic Porter with locally roasted coffee beans.
Ooh, interesting. All right, I kind of like coffee stuff is tough, man, but I like it when it's good. But when it's bad,
I was at an event at the Siegel Center this past Friday, and Hardy was there passing out samples, and the guy had this. And I'll give you my review, but I thought you guys would like it.
okay. So this is one that you're bringing to the table under the impression that it's going to win a deli?
That's the goal here.
Okay. I like that.
I guess sometimes I do bring stuff I'm just there's no way, but.
No, but I'll do that. I'll taste a beer and then be like, ooh, I'll have to bring that in. That's a deli winner. And it's always interesting to see if you can pull it off. So
I'll pull more
if
you want more, but I think
Let's not waste
I
it.
can tell you now I want more, but I haven't
9.1%.
Oh, never mind. It's probably just enough.
33 IBU. I didn't pay for it, so I don't know what it cost.
It's the right price point. You know what else wasn't paid for?
It fell into
Mack's autograph.
This one fell into my pocket while I was leaving the Siegel Center. So
Oh, that is
Really?
So you stole this.
I was walking by the table and it just fell in.
You stole this.
It's a big pocket.
Yeah, I had a new suit on,
Oh, okay.
So
That's an interesting beer. That's a porter, you said?
yeah, Baltic Porter. I don't know what that means. And I agree. Coffee is a hard thing to master.
Huh. Okay. Well, I'm slowly forming an opinion over here.
I'll go first.
Yeah, please
We'll have
do.
Ely go last like usual. Obviously, I like this. That's why I brought it in. It's very alcoholic, but to me, you don't. If I hadn't have told you 9-1, I don't think either of you would have guessed it.
I agree.
Which I think is always a plus. It's got the coffee taste, but it's not overpowering. It's got, to me, I taste chocolate in there too, which I think pair well together. If I can sound like Brendan for a second. So I like this. I give this a 4. I'd buy this again, which, some of Hardywood's stuff really isn't my taste. So when we tried some other beers there, and this was my favorite that they had. They had that, we tried at the Stash Bash. They're doing like an American lager or something, Richmond lager or whatever. They were giving that out, and that's okay.
They should give that out. Beer is average.
But I like this. This is a 4 easily in my book.
I'm intrigued by this beer. I'll give you that. It's a lot sweeter than I expected. There is a lot of like sugars going on in there. It's definitely very malty, but it's strange. I don't really know what the big difference is between a porter and a stout, but it certainly tastes more like a stout. I don't know if that means anything though, because they could very well be the same beer with like a minor twist.
Let me read this. Baltic Porter with locally roasted coffee beans. Hardywood Baltic Sunrise is conditioned on locally roasted coffee beans from Black Hand Coffee Company in Richmond, Virginia. Our Baltic Porter is an invigorating, full-bodied lager with a bold aroma of freshly brewed coffee, preceding notes of bittersweet chocolate, hints of dark cherry, and malty smooth finish.
Yeah, it's definitely sweet and has that chocolate going on. Damn near peanut butter flavor, which is weird because I think that's supposed to be the coffee, but it's coming through to me as like a peanut butter on my breath. As I breathe, I can certainly
It's probably like
coffee.
a coffee chocolate combination gives you that peanut butter.
I would say it's good. It's good. It's a little sweet for me to have like a couple of them.
So at 9-1, I don't know.
Yeah. So I don't think I could give it any higher than I'll give it a 3, just because I don't think I could go back to the well. And I'm not certain I would buy it again. If I was there, I might, but I wouldn't seek it out. So I'm giving it a generous 3.
Ooh, generous.
Yeah, I'm fairly close to Brendan. It's very difficult for me to give a high score to a really dark beer.
Yeah, and this is
this
looks like coffee.
Yeah, exactly. But that being said, of the ones that I've tried, this is really good because I do think what you said about not knowing how strong it is. It tastes really good. It blends really well. It just this type of beer is not my bag. I'll drink one, but then I'll be looking for something else. So, I mean, I'd probably give it a, I don't know, 2.5.
Yeah,
like that.
That's what I'm saying. Is it generous 3? Like I'm giving
Yeah.
it the 3 because it's better than middle of the road.
Like, I'm not going to
but-
cuss you if you hand it to me. I'll be like, oh, I can deal with this. I'm not getting another one, but I'll
That's
deal
not
with it.
that's not a it's not a fail, but it's definitely not a winner.
Yeah. In fact, I know it's definitely given me the desire to have a Coors Light, if you don't mind grabbing me one of those, because I need to get that taste out of my mouth.
That's what Brian Boitano would do.
That's right. Yeah, fine. That's perfect. I'll take an Ultra even.
Yeah.
Whatever we need. I just need to get this out of my mouth.
I was drinking like
You've never said that.
Yes. Well, no. Let me get this in my mouth.
Yeah.
There we go. Better?
it was one of those like unlimited food, unlimited drinks thing at Siegel Center, and they had all the weird beers, but they didn't have any Coors Light. And I started drinking like Shock Tops and Vienna Lagers and stuff like that. And then I just started to get sick and buzz, and I was like, I need to go to the Ultras. Like, that's more my speed. But I couldn't just drink them all night because I would have had 18 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, those will fuck you up. I can already tell. Like
Yeah.
it didn't taste that way, but it just having that little bit, I know that there's more booze
Better
in
finish
me
this
than
bottle.
there was. You're the one who loves it so much. Why don't you get in there?
All right.
I'm gonna drink
Twist
this.
my arm.
I'm gonna drink this Ultra.
If I must.
So I don't know if you guys saw this. Well, I know, Troy. I know you did, and I'm sure you had to walk right by it. But a dream was realized this week.
Someone's dream.
It's a masculine dream. It's
Not many would say that.
not many know, but I officially did it. I pulled the trigger on a Miata.
Yep.
You're coming out.
Torch red.
It is not torch red. It is not torch
Well, that's
red.
because you haven't painted it yet.
Yeah, give me time.
Yeah.
Candy apple.
Right.
How do you
Yeah.
like it? I have been. It's no surprise to anybody who listens to the show that I have been circling the drain for quite a while. In fact, on that site Jalopnik a couple weeks ago, they showed some guy had turned a Miata, put a body kit on it to make it look like a Mustang.
Oh, yeah.
Snap.
No less than
I'm back in.
Yeah.
no less than 4 listeners sent me like private messages like, look at this. No, that's a pretty cool Miata.
Why would you
How
do
much
that?
for a handy?
I feel like that's.
Yeah.
I feel like
That's not how it went.
That wasn't the email?
No, it was
You
not.
sure?
Yes, no, that was implied.
Yeah, they know they know they're free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Are you talking to me about Miatas?
Why would you go through the trouble? Like, there's a gajillion Miatas out there. I
Yeah.
mean, Mustangs out there.
Right.
Like, why
Got
try
this
to?
extra Miata laying around. I'd love to get a Mustang, but I can't get rid of this motherfucker.
You know what I want? I love a Mustang, but I just want a tiny one. I need a tiny.
And that's
Mustang.
it. It was so small. I'm like, oh, it looks kind of cool, but then when you walk up to it, you're like, that is so lame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I have been
Your Miata?
no the Mustang.
Oh, the
Miata.
Mustang. Oh, okay.
My Miata's dope, dude.
Yeah.
I have been.
Is this the one you've been looking at for a while?
Yeah. So I've been circling the drain for a while now, and
But is this the one that we saw pictures of?
yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I have been looking at Miatas for probably longer than when I even brought it up on the podcast. you
Yeah, it
know?
was so weird.
Smart move.
Yeah.
Less of a beating.
Yeah.
So yes, and ever since I brought it up, I tell you the beating I took from all the listeners and from you guys was almost enough.
It helped you purchase it.
It was almost enough to make me not do it, honestly, because it's like, wow, if this is the kind of reaction you're gonna get when you get a Miata, and these are the people that like you, I mean, imagine how bad it's gonna be. And it almost turned me off to it, and I just kept looking at those more expensive ones, the true British Roadsters. I looked at all of
Yeah.
them. I kept looking
But
at
the rule is if you're if you are like a buddy, you have a guy that rides with you, you guys have to hold hands and shift together.
It helps.
Like
it
your
helps.
right hand, his left hand on top of each other, and you shift the gears together.
See, no.
So those are
I
called-
think you're wrong. I think I've never looked into one, but I assume it's right hand on right hand because the left hand's obviously busy.
Fair point.
It's actually they call them Miata Cuffs, and they're friendship bracelets that are just big enough
Yeah.
that you can both get your wrists in there.
They're
and
fur
that's how-
lined?
and that's how you shift.
Okay.
Yeah, Miata
They're
Cuffs.
fur lined.
In fact, I should probably be the name of the episode is Miata Cuffs.
There you go.
Definitely.
But so yeah, I'd been looking for a long time, and
You
like
know
I
what
said,
was weird? You hadn't mentioned it in a minute, and then
That's 'cause I was getting-
of
All
a
of a
sudden,
sudden,
I look at the
Meek,
market.
I'm here to pick you up.
Is a Roadrunner out there?
Yeah, exactly.
No, he sent us that freaking Marco Polo of him in a convertible jetting down the road. Like,
Yeah.
It's been a long time, man. I've been looking at them, and if you're going to buy
That's
a
what
roadster,
Brian Boitano would do.
that's
that
right.
is what Brian Boitano would do.
Yeah.
And if you're going to buy a roadster or a motorcycle, you do it in the dead of winter.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
and boats. Those are three things that if you're going to buy,
If you're selling, you do it in the spring.
You sell
Yeah.
it in the spring. You have to be desperate to put that thing on the market in the winter.
Yeah.
And that works to the buyer's advantage.
Yes.
You know, and I knew
Plus, that one had been out there for a minute.
Yeah, so I had been looking at these for a while, and there's one that just kept popping up every time I did the damn searches. And you know how it is when you get into one of those like holes of I'm gonna make a big ticket purchase, you piss away all your spare time on Craigslist, on eBay, on Auto
I know
Trader,
all about that.
whatever it may be, wherever it is that you find, you piss away all your time doing it.
Yes.
And actually, by
On
far
Grindr.
by far the most fun part of the whole process is
Yes.
the hunt.
No.
Once you make the kill, it's like, oh,
Driving
crap.
is not fun. You'd rather just look for them.
There's something to be said for the hunt. It's just like
that's what a woman would say. I like spending 3 hours getting ready. I'm only going out for 2.
I
But
will say though, I do looking at houses. I could do that shit all the time.
yeah. Why
Yeah,
do you think so
definitely.
many people watch HGTV and all that stuff? Is because you like watching people go through the hunt.
Yeah. No, I like walking through
I
houses.
just like seeing different houses.
Yeah, me too.
But that's the same. So that's what I've been doing. I've been
Yeah.
looking at every damn Miata within 300 miles of here. There hasn't been a Miata in 2-3 months that I haven't known about in 3 months at least in 300 miles. I've seen them all.
Test drove the owner.
Yeah, you did.
Now that's a man. So
Now that we're done, where's the
I
car?
wonder how that seat got ripped.
you guys are missing the point.
Oh, we're nailing the point.
Yeah.
Is that what the kids call it now? So there was this one that I had like really fallen in love with, and what I kept doing is when people would make fun of me, I would then show them the picture of that one, and I'd go, well, does that one still look lame? And then that one was like 50-50. People would, oh, that's cool, or yeah, it's still a Miata.
Does this one have ground effects on it?
It does have a couple ground effects. It's not
Okay.
neither here nor there.
right.
It's called
It's
a body
stock, though,
kit.
right?
It's
Yeah,
called a
yeah.
body kit.
Is that aftermarket or stock?
Aftermarket.
No, that's aftermarket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
aftermarket.
It's got a big whale wing on it.
I don't know enough about Miatas. Like, I don't know what comes with it or not.
So this one I'd looked
Chrome
at
windshield wipers.
for a while, and but it was like way out of my price range. But again, that's the advantage me because it's the dead of winter. This guy had it sit there on Craigslist for over a month. I never emailed him. Finally, I emailed him
You
one
showed
day
him.
and was like, "Hey man, I'm going out of town, but I see your listing's going to expire, and I didn't want to not reach out and say, I love your car. I got a lot of questions about it. Never mentioned to him that he was out of my price range, and I wasn't doing this. And I never heard back from the guy. And I was like, oh, that was probably because I was going out of town.
Yeah.
Well, then it like stayed online for like another couple of weeks. So I guess he must have just been like
Re-upping it.
updating
Yeah.
his listing. And then one day it just disappeared. It was gone. And I was like,
Sold.
yeah. And it broke my heart. Like I was like so bummed because then I'm start looking at every other Miata within 300 miles going, they all suck. These are all trash.
Yeah.
They're not like that one that got away. And then it started becoming
Where was it?
Harrisonburg,
Okay.
about 2 hours from here.
Yeah.
Then it started quickly becoming the one that got away. Like everything else, it's like that first love. Like even if you're in high school and like you never even kissed the girl, you're like I love that girl, and like you hold them to a standard that's not even real.
Yeah.
It's like it's just made up in your head because you're 15 years old.
Right.
That was exactly what this Miata had
I
become.
could talk for an hour about that. Like, how stupid, how like intoxicating is young love? Like
Oh,
you
crazy.
are, it.
Hormone-driven
You
love.
understand, Mom?
Yeah.
Girls get upset, but I feel like it's worse for the guys. Like, girls don't understand like what a teenage boy.
Oh, then
who's
the
in
worst
love-
is the teenage kid that's in high school that ends up getting married
Yes.
Chick.
Oh.
Then you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, you have.
I love to
ruined
see
it.
the stats on how often those last.
Yeah.
I feel like they can't because at one point someone rips their shirt off and goes to the bars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly. No, that's very true, man.
Yeah.
I mean, my first real girlfriend, I thought we were getting married, no doubt. Like,
Of course you did.
When you all think all of your high school friends are your best friends on earth.
Yeah,
too.
exactly,
You're like,
yeah.
y'all don't understand.
yeah.
yeah, it isn't until later
Yeah.
in life you go, wow, 4 of those dudes were actually worth hanging out with. And
Right.
The other 20 sucked.
Yeah.
And it's funny that it's just funny to think like, yeah, it's just so happened that my soulmate and I grew up in the same town of 5,000 people.
Exactly.
What are the coincidences?
Yeah.
Like no one else out there could possibly be for me because it was meant to be. We obviously went to the same high school.
Hormone-driven love is scary.
Oh, yeah.
It's scary because you burn hotter than anything
Oh,
you've ever
yeah.
felt in your life. I mean, the only time in my life that I've ever thought it's over, I don't want to live anymore, I was like 15 years old, and it was because a girl who I'd never so much as kissed was moving. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's the end of my life.
That's it.
That is
Yeah.
it. I am done.
Right.
And then
Haven't
it's
even
like-
talked to her yet.
Yeah, and then
And she doesn't know my last name.
yeah.
It's over.
That's it.
But the
Yeah.
hormones get in there, and man, we got to explain that to our kids, and we got to really try to make them understand, but they'll never understand because you're just a fucking loser who doesn't get true love, Dad.
Yeah, right.
You're like, oh, I do though, and she sucks. I promise you,
Dude, I fell in and I love a gajillion times as a youth. And like, I can
It's
just remember
insane.
bawling my eyes out. And my dad would be like, why do you only have one girlfriend? You should have 3 or 4 anyway.
That
That's
was always like the older guy angle. All the older guys are like, why aren't you out there slaying it? This is the prime time because
Yeah.
they're all like. They're all tethered. I
remember
remember
being-
home, broken
Right.
men and their lazy boy. Like,
I remember being
it's over.
like-
it's over.
You'll get it, Dad. Like,
Right.
don't tell me. What do you know?
Well, I got to say, the passion I felt for that Miata
It's up there.
was similar to a 15-year-old's just absolute love. And when it went off Craigslist, I was devastated. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, my God, it's gone. And then,
Like, why did you not think there was going to be another one? Kind of like
Well-
girls. Like, was there something?
and you know
that-
what? They started to show up.
Was there something not that one had?
Just
that-
extra clean. It's got all the things you want. Stuff
It
like
already
that.
had all this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
houses are that way.
So are car. I mean, I get hooked on cars that are that way. You're like,
it had
it's
all
got
the
the
little
wheels.
stuff.
It's got this. I'd have to pay money to put it on afterwards, anyways. It's
Well,
already
that's
there.
the
They're
logic.
rare. I've been looking all over the Eastern Seaboard. There's only 3 on the entire East Coast.
All
You know what I mean?
right.
Shit like that.
The house we bought, like, we picked up another house in another part of town, and we were going to put a bid on. They were like, they took it off today. And we were devastated. And then, like, immediately, a week later, we see our house, and we couldn't be happier. But it's
Oh yeah.
the grass is greener. Like, that should have been the one. And
Yep.
Honestly, though, I wasn't finding everything else. I was like, well, I'm going to have to do what that other one had.
Okay, what
And then I had fallen in
what
love
did
with-
you have to have, first off?
Well, I didn't want red because I didn't want to hear Ely. I really didn't want to hear Ely.
You know, the first thing my wife said,
What?
is it purple?
Funny, I'm not kidding. I went up there and I'm talking to the guy, and I'm like, so it appears to be like a blue or a green, and he's
You
like,
brought extra eyes with you, though, to make sure,
I
right?
did.
You did?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who
And
went with
Double
you?
J.
Oh, okay.
Jason, yeah, Double J.
Nice.
And I even asked the guy, I said, just, is it purple or could it even be construed as purple? And
I've
he's
got
like-
this thing. Just trust me.
He gave me that, shit, no, man.
Yeah.
like,
I thought you were
you
going to say
from?
slow played. You like, do you want it to be like?
Right.
yeah.
I got some Krylon in the garage.
I got 4 rattle cans. We can do this
That's what I'm
thing.
saying.
It'll be purple by the time you're back from lunch. I'll
Right.
take care of
Yeah.
this. Nah, so yeah, I was devastated when it left, and then it showed back up a week later, and I was like,
So he got
But he never
lazy.
responded to your first email.
never did.
Huh.
So as soon as it pops back up, I
Because
was
he knows how to play the game. He
No,
resp-
he had somebody buying it.
he did,
Felt
but
good.
he
something fell through.
But him responding means Brendan has him on the hook too.
Yeah, well, and
Oh,
I
he didn't
know,
respond because he thought he had it sold.
and I know the guy was desperate.
Oh,
Because,
really?
Yeah, because it'd been there for 6 weeks the first time, then it was gone for a week,
Once you decide to sell something, you're like, get this shit out of my house,
Yeah.
out of my life.
and now it'd been sitting there for another 2 weeks.
Was it priced too high?
It was priced a little high, but honestly, for what it is, it was underpriced. I just don't think there's a market.
I assume
Because it's the
everything
dead of winter.
sold on Craigslist is priced high because they're expecting you to come back with a.
Depends on how bad the person wants to get rid of it. I mean, you can find deals.
But this thing was-
they've come off of Craigslist fast, though.
Yeah.
This thing had a supercharger on it. Still does.
What kind of
Same.
supercharger?
Jackson Racing.
Like
supercharger.
2 phones at once.
Yeah.
It was dope.
Yeah.
So it's got that on there. It's got the interior I wanted. It's got the exact interior I wanted. Like, and every time I was looking at a car, I'm like,
Which
okay,
is,
it
people
doesn't-
don't know what that means.
like a tan leather with
Camel.
with the camel like carpets
It's purple,
and
dude.
everything.
I hate to tell you that.
It is
Right.
not. and then I'm such a wood freak. I mean, hell, I built the pallet house. I mean, it's got the wood steering wheel, wood dash, wood shifter, wood. So I'm just
Dude's always talking about wood.
Yeah.
Him. Well,
8-inch dildo shifter.
Wood.
Yeah.
Of
so
course.
I had to get a Miata because I'm compensating for this huge dick. That's what-
Did y'all hear Ely's eyes just roll through the back of his head?
they look at that
Yeah,
Miata and go, he
that
must be
hurts.
compensating for something huge.
That's what all the gay guys say.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see that guy in the Miata.
Beep, beep.
But so, yeah.
Pull over.
I do want to bet. I am willing to bet you'll get more women that say they like your car and more dudes that I fuck you in that ride.
I've only been out in it for a couple days, and if there's one thing I've noticed, there's one demographic that seems to like that car. a lot.
Hairdressers.
No, like 16-year-old girls.
Really?
Like
Yeah.
really, really young
Yeah.
girls. Are
Yeah,
always
that's
like,
hey, Dad, I want that for graduation.
Yeah, they stare. They're like, ooh, one girl today, we're at a light, and she took a picture, and all I was thinking is, please don't let that be like hashtag this dork or something.
Right.
Like,
Hashtag old guy in a Miata.
and I was sitting there
Hashtag
with
me
like,
too Miata.
like, I had my hat on backwards and sunglasses, and I was like, I look like such a tool right now. I was so upset. I saw her lift up because she smiled at me, and then her
She's
phone
like, this
came up.
guy's
She
got
was
the
like,
driest
click.
balls in Chesterfield.
You're like, I like that Brendan's trying to be incognito, but he's rocking a rainbow hat and Elton John sunglasses.
That's
like,
right,
dude,
yeah.
you should not pair those
In
together.
chromas.
Just sitting there, dong sarong, sunglasses, hat backwards.
Yes. How can we make that? And you need to cruise down fucking Cary Street in the dong sarongs.
I already have a little like 10-second
Parade.
video that I want my wife to take, and it'll involve the dong sarong and the Miata.
That's awesome.
Is
Oh.
I have got it. I've got the like perfect pull up get out scenario.
That is awesome.
For the
That'll be
podcast.
awesome.
I think that's how the dong sarong will be released. Like,
Nice.
I've got it.
Release the dong sarong.
But yeah, man, I finally I called the guy and started talking to him, and
So it runs?
yeah, it runs great. It's lightning fast. I picked up Troy tonight, and I like insisted on picking Troy up tonight
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
podcast.
He did.
And it was quick, wasn't it?
So I got in it, which in and of itself is a feat for somebody my size.
Right.
They're very small cars.
And I've been in Miata. My father-in-law has one. He actually had an older one that was basically the same make and model, that not make, but same body size and everything, same year. And I got in it, and we're cruising along through my neighborhood, and I'm like, have you got? He's like, no, I haven't gotten it up to, a lot of speed. He's telling me how quick it is. I'm like, it's a Miata. Like, what could it? And
Yeah.
turned out on the road, dude, and he pinned me back in the seat, dude.
Nice.
Through 3 years. Like, the thing is quick. I'm telling you, it is quick.
It's nasty.
And with
Sweet.
me and him in it, that's impressive too, because that's a go-kart with two
Right.
full-grown adults in it.
Exactly.
And I'm not small, so
No, it's faster than it should be. But how reliable it is still to be seen.
find out.
You know what I mean?
yeah, it's only 23 years old.
Yeah.
Is that how old it is?
It's
24.
94, 95.
Oh, wow.
We have conflicting information on that. So
Yeah.
I believe it's a 94. The guy said it was a 95. We'll see.
Okay.
But, yeah, so the guy wanted too much money, and I had to pull the old talk to him for like 20 minutes, get him invested in my story. You know what I mean? You ever,
Is that what you did?
Yeah, you ever have to do that? Like, you're about to lowball the shit out of this guy? Because these cars don't
Did he
cost-
ask where you came from?
What do you mean? Oh, no, like
'Cause
Craigslist.
I
or like-
would have been like, you drove from
Oh,
Richmond?
were you in it? So you were there.
No, see, I called the
Oh,
guy.
okay. You talked to him
I
for a while.
I'd emailed back and forth. Then I finally got him on the phone.
Okay.
And I talked to him on the phone for about 20 minutes, like asking questions, complimenting his taste on certain touches, just kind of like buttering him up, And he's thinking, oh, well, hell yeah. And then I came in and offered him $2,000 less than he was asking. And these cars don't cost very much, so $2,000 is
A big chunk of it.
50%.
extraordinary amount of money to ask.
At least a third.
off the top. Yeah, I mean it was, and he's like, "Oh man, I've wasted all this time with this guy." And then
What he said out loud?
no, you could just tell he just wasn't super
Yeah, can't
psyched
do it.
about. And then I was like, "All right, well, let me start going through the motions, or ask more questions, talk to them about some other stuff." And then I was like, what if I came up $500? And he's like, I had a guy show up here the other day with that much money cash in hand.
Told him to pound sand.
And I told him to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, and then I pulled the old, it'd be hard for me to even get that. I don't think the wife's going to be on board, hem and haw. Finally, he gave me like another number. And I'm like, it's just, I don't know if I can do it. Again, then go back, talk to him for a little while, get him buttered up.
Did you have a hard number in your head? Like, this is the max?
Dude, exactly where it landed was my hard number. Like,
wow.
my I can't
That's
spend
how it
this
always
much.
works out.
Yeah, it's funny how that works.
And so right before we got off the phone, I was like, if I showed up with cash with this, in the next 2 days, would you do it? And he was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I was like, okay, called Double J. I was like, what are you doing tomorrow?
Right.
And he didn't have to be anywhere, so we just drove up there together in my car and got up there.
Back in the Miata.
Actually, it was
together.
good having
Left
him
the car
there.
up there.
Left
Yeah.
my other car up there.
Double hand shifting.
He was looking at things though that I probably wouldn't have looked at, so it was definitely
Colors.
good to have him there. He just he just looks at cars differently than I do.
Right.
Like everyone has their little checklist they go through, and his was totally different. So I was happy to see
What
it.
does that mean?
Like there's just certain things you look at, right? Like I
Glove
was
box size.
No, I was looking for rust.
Yeah.
Because Miatas get rust. I'm really spending a lot of time in rust, and he's like under spending time with like oil pan and stuff.
Right.
So it's just like we were tackling.
Yeah,
different
Jason has
things.
some car knowledge.
The funny thing about Jason is that dude soups up all his cars.
Right.
He's always putting lifts on them.
Yeah.
Changing this out. He's like, damn it, this thing should be faster. Like he's just one of those guys, and so that was good to have. But I also needed like a opinion of, does this look like some ratted out ricer? Like is this a Fast and Furious car, or is this a good looking car? Because I had
It's
already.
not far.
It's somewhere in between. That's for sure. It's somewhere in between Fast and Furious and stock looking. And I was like, you got to just be honest with me. And then when it pulled up, I think we were both like, oh, that's not too bad. Like
Right.
that makes sense. And then after you get behind the wheel and it punches and it takes off like a rocket, you're like, the jokes are coming, and I'm buying this car.
But I'm outrunning him.
Yep. And I have I've been pumped ever since. Like I've absolutely been loving it.
Well, I'm happy for you, dude. I'm glad you got the car
Yeah.
you wanted.
I am too. Now that it's all said and done, I just hope that it holds out.
It's about time you got a fun car that you don't drive every day that you can just goof off in, because you deserve that.
Well, I already had one of those.
Oh yeah, that's right. You son of a bitch.
Well, I ran the numbers on all my cars because I now have 3 cars out there.
Yeah, you need help.
I ran the numbers on, and one of them is my daily driver, like the family car, and it's like the nicest car in the fleet.
Yeah.
I added
Your wife's
up,
car's nicer.
I added up what I paid for all 3 cars. It was still $8,000 less than what my wife paid for her one car.
Oh yeah, that's true.
All 3 cars. So I'm
Nice.
like, I don't have a problem. You've got the problem with your.
You
big,
do have a
nice
parking
vehicle.
problem.
I'm starting to. Actually, I offered to sell the old truck. I told my wife, I said, look, I'll sell the old truck. I want a Roadster right now. And she was like, you're never selling that truck. Told me to
That's
pound
funny.
sand. Yeah, she told me to pound sand. I was like,
I would have
"Damn,
bought
I-
that old truck from
like,
you.
Dude, I'm just glad I still have it. Now I just got to find time to drive all 3 cars.
Right.
That poor truck will never get driven again.
I was going to drive it today, and then I didn't. I kept telling myself, just start it. No, as long as there's snowboarding and camping in my life, I'll drive the truck. I would like to think. I'm never driving it again.
Or if you need to put more than one average-sized human.
Oh, my
Exactly.
God. I tried to put the Yeti cooler in the trunk of the Miata just to see if it would
Are you
fit.
kidding me?
Dude, You could put a Miata in a Yeti cooler.
Yeah.
You certainly can't do it the other way.
Wow.
It was unbelievable how big. It took up the whole damn trunk and then stood like a damn near a foot higher. I was like, okay.
Those things aren't good for holding anything.
I got a child in there today. I'm glad my wife
In the
didn't
trunk?
see that. Yeah.
Nice.
I did. I got the smallest kid in there. I didn't put the top all the way down. I just wanted to know.
Yeah,
I was
but you
like,
didn't go over 60.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Put this helmet on. Hold on tight.
Yeah.
It's a Miata.
That's awesome, man.
The dream's
I'm
been
jealous.
realized.
I'm jealous. I'd like to have a fun car to drive around.
Do it.
I've been
Do
wanting. I wanted a Jeep for my entire life. That's all I've ever wanted. But I just
But
can't.
if a second car, you can spend $2,000 and get a car that you'll love to beat on.
The problem is, like, no, you can't. Jeeps you can't get for less than
No,
$4 or
not
$5,000.
if you're hell bent on a Jeep.
Yeah.
No.
And
That's
you
the
don't want to
problem.
be turning wrenches on it every
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the problem is now I have a company car, so I don't even drive my daily driver. Like
But isn't that the perfect situation?
Oh,
to get
that
a
is.
Jeep?
That's what. So,
it is. But I would never get rid of my daily driver because that's my tow in the camper car.
Oh.
And I could do it with the wife's new car, but I don't want to do that to the wife's new car.
Oh, then yeah. I
'Cause
think
if
you
you've
need
ever
to
been-
have that talk.
If you've ever been camping, like your shit gets thrashed. Like
Yeah.
throwing stuff in and out of the back of your
It
car,
does. But
it
if
gets
you've got
thrashed.
another car that can tow the camper, and you've got a company car,
No.
this is your chance to get a Jeep.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no two ways about it. You have what we would like to call the perfect scenario.
My wife's car is pristine, dude, and it's like 3 years old. I'm not taking it. I'm not towing it.
Oh, you just tow it with the Jeep.
Jeeps
Actually-
don't tow shit, and they don't
As
hold
much
shit.
as a pilot, I'd have to think.
I
Yeah.
think they both tow 4,500,
Yeah.
but it doesn't hold anything.
Right.
I mean, when we had when I had the minivan, I was loading the minivan full
Oh, I got you.
and towing the camper, so which is also packed full of stuff.
Right.
The pilot doesn't even hold what the van holds. So like, we went camping last year and we took all 4 bikes, all the camping equipment. The van was perfect for that. Of course, the van only towed 3,800 pounds, which was maxing out with the camper, all of our stuff, and the 4 people in it. Like,
Yeah.
that's why we had to replace the shocks. You remember that?
Yeah.
Those blown out shocks. But I don't know. I'll have them one day.
I think you should pull the trigger, man.
No, not now. I'm not gonna do it now.
But I'm like a
Maybe
guy.
when the boys get older, they'll think it's cooler, and
God, you guys have much stronger will than I do.
you have the space. See, if I had what you had, yeah, I'd be like, yeah, let's get another car because I got
I like that Ely lumped me in with the strong-willed people. I got 3 cars in the driveway.
Yeah.
Dude,
How
you have a
bad is
garage.
your addiction?
Has
You have a garage
has
bigger-
nothing to do with the garage at all. If I lived in a single, I had no garage, I'd be the
I
same.
don't have
exact,
anywhere to put another
I'd
car.
be the same exact person. I don't have that bone in my body where I'm like, and it's a bad thing, where I'm like, I'm going to wait 5 years.
You
to
do love
that.
car notes.
I don't do that. Yeah, it will nag me all day long. It nags at me.
That you don't have that car.
Yes.
But that's how I was with this stupid Miata.
Yeah.
So I mean, I
So
guess
what's on your list now? What's your newest obsession? Because
I don't
you obviously
There's
have
nothing
one.
new. These obsessions have been around for 10 years. or
You just
whatever.
scratch one itch and get rid of the other one.
Yeah,
and
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a sports car and some sort of a truck SUV.
you still have the
it's always
Cobra,
it. You need
right?
a truck,
That's it.
sports car, and
Yeah.
a daily driver.
Right. And if the truck's, I mean, I can use the truck as a daily driver, I suppose, or the sports car, depending on how you arrange it.
I agree. As long as it's not a Miata, because you can't fit anything inside that car.
Yeah.
That is a worthless vehicle. I love it.
Yeah. As far as the sports cars go, I've been looking at 4 doors a lot more lately.
4-door sports cars. Or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a Charger or something? Or those
Like
Challengers?
a CTSV or like an Audi S6,
Oh.
shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those Audis are a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd buy that. Just my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Audis are bad.
I love old, just awful cars that most people don't like. Like I like the old mid-'80s Monte Carlos.
Right.
I love those.
Have you ever driven like an SS Monte Carlo from like 86, 87?
I have not.
They are dog-ass slow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they always talked about
Well,
them
it only
like they
makes
were
sense. I mean,
amazing.
Everything
those
now
cars
is
are
faster.
slow.
Yeah, everything's faster now. I mean, that only makes sense. Technology is just, it's not even the same.
Yeah,
like,
they're like
I just remember I'd wanted one
230
forever.
horsepower.
Yeah.
My boy Stu had one in college, and I remember I'd always wanted one.
And it's all mechanical. It's not, electronically fuel injected and all the good stuff. It's like
They're
traction control.
They're kind of dogs.
It's funny to think
They are.
that, like
an Accord would roast them all day.
Dude, the new
Like,
Accords will roast anything.
Camry
from
pulls
the
up next to you and just toasts you. And
Yeah.
You're like, you're in some dope Camaro or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Those old F bodies are fucking slow.
and I always liked, and nobody likes them. I like those old, Thunderbird, Trans Am, T-top, white trash mobiles.
Mm-hmm.
Those are sweet cars.
They are.
Man, I love those. Those old Firebirds.
Have you ever
and
been in
Trans
them?
Ams.
They're uncomfortable as shit.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like in a lounge. You're sitting in a Chase lounge.
Yeah.
Like your feet are at the same level your butt is. And for guys like me, that's awful.
Yeah.
But I love the T-tops. I like
Oh, I know.
T-tops, man.
My boy Josh had one of them smoking the Bandit rides. We used to pimp that fucker around.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
T-top is the greatest thing that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
I loved a T-top. They always leaked.
Those
Yeah.
300,
Never worked,
the 300 twin turbo Z's with the
The
T-tops.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah, I always wanted one of those. They were
Yep.
slick looking.
They were quick, too.
I just found out recently that my wife had an opportunity to have that exact car.
Really?
And
Which one? Like the
Well, it was like-
mid-90s one or the older one? Like
late
late 80s?
Late 80s.
Okay, yeah.
And she had access to it.
They look fast just sitting still. Like they look
Yeah.
like they were just
Yeah. Unfortunately, she was going to get her hands on it. It was through a death in the family. It was a sad situation. So she was like, I can't have it. The other day she saw one go by and she's like, I regret not just keeping that because you get to honor the family member
Right.
by keeping it around, and you get this dope ass 300Z. Like, come
Exactly.
on, that's a sweet ride. Those are still very cool. I honestly, I looked at those while I was looking at the Miata.
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah.
It fit the bill of what I was looking for. Small, two-seater. Like, get after it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But ultimately, less speed won out.
I've wanted a Jeep so bad so long that in the late 90s, I bought a Suzuki Sidekick because
Yeah.
I couldn't afford a Jeep
Right.
and loved the holy hell out of that thing. It was red with a white top, and I put some big fat tires underneath of it.
Yeah, you did.
And I tell you what, I took it out at Ocracoke or whatever
Yeah.
down the Outer Banks. What, is that Ocracoke? No, Oregon Inlet.
Or yeah.
I did not let air out of the tires, and I darted around every Jeep out there because that thing was like a water bug. It
Right.
doesn't weigh anything. Big, fat, wide, oversized tires. It just skated across the sand like nothing.
Yep.
I've noticed that like every country I go to, you'll find that there's like a dominant car brand that just seems to be ingrained in the culture. And the more isolated the country, the more prominent that brand is. So like when we were in Costa Rica, it was Toyota country. It was from the old Land Cruisers to the newer 4Runners and everything in between. It was just Toyotas. When I was in Nevis, it was Suzuki's.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest damn thing. I
The
was
really
like,
old, like boxy looking
and
ones,
new
and
Suzuki's.
the newer ones.
Like I was like, how did Suzuki weasel their way into this little island? But they must have like a Suzuki dealership and nothing else. And they had so many old sidekicks all over that island. And I was
awesome.
like, and it's just when you see a country that has just embraced one vehicle, they all have different looks to them. They've all been customized, and it was badass, man. It was really, really cool. I thought of you because I was like, I have never seen so many sidekicks.
I love that car, man. The only reason I sold it was I was living downtown, and it literally got broken into every night.
I was about to say that's an easy car to break into.
Yeah.
And the worst part was I didn't care. I didn't keep anything in it because I know how Jeep and Jeep-like owners work. You don't keep anything in it. But what pissed me off is they would cut the top. I'm like, there's zippers
the
on
worst.
it. There's zippers on it.
Yeah.
Unzip it. I don't care. Come in
So
it.
I feel like
I kept the doors unlocked. What are we doing here?
Right.
That's why I haven't locked the doors yet on the Miata.
Yeah, they'll cut the top.
Because I'm like, if you want to get in, it's very easy to get in either way. So just open the door.
Do you have any burglaries out here?
There's burglaries everywhere. You know what I mean?
Well.
Like kids go around and open up car doors. That's
Not where I live.
but there's no one around you.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm in a neighborhood.
Yeah.
So yes, kids roam through these streets.
Yeah,
at
kids
night.
come through my neighborhood. I don't know if they're in our neighborhoods around, but if you leave your doors unlocked, they will come in. They're not breaking windows, but if you leave your doors unlocked, they will come in and take your change and your GPS. It's a sad world.
It's a sad world, but I mean, I kind of get it. I can remember those days, like, you know, you knew your friends were out drinking and partying. Like,
Oh, yeah.
people be like, hey, look, I found $20 in a car. And you're like, oh, man. And it's just like, I see this stuff happening, and it happens in good neighborhoods. It happens everywhere. You can't.
I don't get mad because I just look at it as teenage kids as something no good.
I just look at it as coming back on me as for what I did.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Being a punk.
Yep.
So.
Had that coming.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
I've earned it.
Right.
Well, we'll
Slow clap to those kids.
We'll
Yeah.
we'll touch base on that again next week. I want to send a shout out to everyone who's already subscribed and has already taken the time to go ahead and review the show. We certainly appreciate it. It absolutely helps the cause. And if you haven't had a chance to sign your friends up for the show, give them the old Cincinnati swap, how about you do that? We certainly like having the additional listeners, and they're going to appreciate you turning them on to some good content. If you haven't had a chance to reach out and give us some topics, please do so over at InsideThePalletHouse@gmail.com, or you can always reach out on the Facebook page or every other form of social media at ITPH Podcast. We would love to hear from you. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will be talking to you next week. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.
Cheers. That was a pretty good podcast on today.